Growing up in Puerto Rico, what does Roberto Clemente mean to you?
Roberto Clemente meant a lot to my generation and the generation before me. I remember my parents talking in great length about his prowess on the field. But I think the one thing that everybody gets everybody's attention is the tragic way that he passed away, which will immortalize him forever as a hero for us and a lot of the baseball community. He lost his life doing what everybody is called to do as a professional athlete, is give back to the community in a moment of need, and he paid the ultimate price for that. So I think in our eyes, he is, I think he might be canonized at some point because he's, what everybody aspires to, as a baseball player. Not only do their thing on the field that they will get recognized, but what you do off the field has an impact to your community. And for those things, Roberto is definitely one of the greatest heroes that I could think of in baseball.
How did you take that spirit with you when you played and you started to gain stature to be able to take that and give back to the community?
I think it's a really important thing because whether we like it or not, everything that we say and what we do gets magnified. I think for some reason people really pay attention to what people like us in this position do or say. So I think we have to be really careful, because I think we are influencing a lot of people with our actions. But with that said, I mean, it can't really deter us from being human beings. We still got to live our lives. But I think just having this mentality of knowing that there's a lot of people counting on some of the things that we do to find inspiration and to find somebody to look up to is a huge responsibility that should not be taken lightly.
Bernie, you're often mentioned in the same circle as Clemente in Puerto Rico for this reason. His team in 1954-55 with Willie Mays was named arguably the best Winter League team, and then you played 94-95 with Escuadrón del Pánico. What does that mean to you to be mentioned in the same breath as like Clemente and Mays in terms of impact in Puerto Rico with baseball?
To be mentioned in that same breath, with those teams, I mean, it's just such a great sense of pride. I think there were some situations that precipitated that moment in time that happened, and I don't think it will ever happen again. It was basically off the coattails of having the suspension and the World Series, being suspended, and everybody in Puerto Rico having this sort of sense of, okay, things are done now, we're getting ready to play, and everybody was so anxious to play. That, basically was the background for that team to be assembled.
Right.
And I think at the time, it was the best possible team that could happen in that era. All the people that, were in my generation, you talk about Roberto Alomar, Hall of Fame, Ruben Sierra, it should have been the MVP that year. Carlos Baerga, talking about Carlos Delgado. You're talking about Edgar Martinez.
Igor.
I mean, even Hutch. I mean, all those people. This is basically the best team that Puerto Rico could assemble at that time, and to be sort of talked in the same breath with the team that Roberto Clemente and Willie Mays played for. I mean, it just can't get any better than that.
Sure, and the Mets are honoring Clemente tonight at Citi Field. There is a possibility tonight could be the night they retire 21 across MLB. We don't know. How do you feel about that in terms of Roberto's number? If it does get retired across MLB, is this something you feel like is a little bit overdue or something that's on time?
I think it will be whenever it happens. I think it'll be a great thing for the Latin American community. I think that his prowess on the field, you can't really talk about it. There's nothing to be said about what he did on the field. I think the one thing that sets him apart is how he lived his life off the field, and I think it'll be a great source of inspiration for even the young Latino players and players in general to have that example of somebody that broke some barriers as much as Jackie did when he came out. Jackie Robinson did, and his number has been retired. I think having that representation for the Latin community in a game that we all so much love and cherished. And sometimes we think of it as sacred. To have the figure of Roberto Clemente being sort of immortalized in that way will be just a huge thing for the Latin American and Hispanic community.